Welcome in, everyone. This is another edition of the Full-Time Roundup podcast. It is your host, Daniel Brackett, joined alongside me, my co-host, Harrison Clark. Harrison, hope you enjoyed your week. It was really good staying or hanging out with you this weekend. We got to watch some footy together. A little nice Prem slate in the morning for the first time, and I don't even remember how long. It's been years. And thoroughly enjoyed that. And then I got to see you off as Liverpool spanked that ass.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a little egregious, but you got the job done. Congratulations. Always a tough game, but hey, if Chelsea walked out of there with 3 points, then I think we would have shocked a lot of people. So, that's how it goes. But yeah, quality weekend in Charlotte. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. But I'm ready to talk some ball.
Yeah, let's jump into it with that game that took place. I'm not gonna lie, man. I told you like straight up, I'm pretty nervous about this game. You had Champions League against Leipzig. You got Arsenal the next week. This could be a look ahead spot. Mixed bag of results against Chelsea over time. But one thing I did know is Mohamed always shows up for Chelsea, and he certainly did, and he got himself a goal here. I thought Cole Palmer surprisingly was a little bit non-existent, but I thought at times we were kind of lucky to kind of win that game. I thought it was kind of back and forth, and at times we were outplayed.
Yeah, no, I think Chelsea had a pretty good start. First 15 minutes, I think that we were pressing Liverpool pretty high. We had the inverted midfield going, and Gusto was almost acting as like an attacking midfielder at times, the way that he was receiving the ball in the middle of the field and putting a lot of pressure on Liverpool. And I had the feeling watching it that if we didn't score with that good of a run of play in the first 20 minutes, then, I got a bad feeling. And once we saw the first 20 minutes pass and no goals were scored, that's when Chelsea got a little sloppy, and that's when Liverpool started to wake up a little bit. Defensively, just some poor decisions. The penalty, Colwell didn't need it. I mean,
Fumbling around.
There were a couple of questionable ones.
Some controversies for sure, refereeing wise.
Yeah, there could have been a couple other penalties, but besides the one that they actually called and then rescinded, that was as clear as day. But that was on Sanchez when he tackled Curtis Jones. Yeah, that wasn't a penalty. So they got that one right in the after they looked at it. But just in this first half, it got sloppy, and Liverpool then had to control the game, and that's kind of when I had a bad feeling until a beautiful man, Nicholas Jackson, scores to tie it up, and all of a sudden I'm filled with hope for about 2 minutes, and then it's taken right back away from me. So I give a lot of credit to Liverpool's midfield for the way they suppressed Cole in this game. He wasn't really given that much space, given that much time to create too much. And even though it was all Chelsea pretty much, trying to get the equalizer in the second half, they weren't able to, and Liverpool defended well. So props to your boys. It was a quality game. I know in the first half, there were plenty of chances both sides. But hey, Liverpool stays top.
Are you for that Sancho Trent stepping on the foot? Did you think that was a penalty?
Everything's so ticky-tacky. It's I don't really...
Especially when it's slowed down, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's contact on every single play. So it's hard for me to necessarily argue for that when, again, Chelsea had multiple times where they were physical with Liverpool players in the box. So, I mean, I think it could have gone either way, and I think a lot of Chelsea's fouls could have gone either way.
The one thing I will say is I can't remember who did it exactly, but someone tackled Mohamed Salah at the halfway line on a breakaway, and I thought
in the first half,
I thought that should have been reviewed for a potential red card.
It wasn't directly going at goal though. is a thing. Like if he was fully,
the guy's got wheels. Like he was all systems ahead. We ended up getting the penalty, so ball didn't fly.
You saw me Tosin can't keep pace.
Yeah,
Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're probably right, but
but I feel like it evened out. So like I wasn't really that mad. I literally there was I think it was against Arsenal in Bournemouth. There was a straight red card, or I can't remember what other game it was a couple of weeks ago, and that was a straight red. So looked like the same exact scenario to me, but I think we were a little bit lucky with the VAR to get away with the Sancho penalty. So I guess it all evens out. Just wanted to read a couple stats here. Players with 60 goals and assists versus the Big Six in Premier League history. Would you like to name the 2 players who have done this?
60 goals and assists versus the Big
Six in Prem history.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Salah's on that list.
Salah is the first one.
60 goals and assists.
It's an old school player.
Frank Lampard?
No, played for the Toon Army.
Alan Shearer?
Yeah, good guess. Alan Shearer.
On a ball, Dan.
The guy, that's a pretty elite list right there. Just shows you how good Mohamed Salah is, and as he's one of the best Premier League wingers out there, and he always brings his best stuff against Chelsea. And then on the other hand, he wasn't even the best player on the pitch, in my opinion. I thought Curtis Jones was the best player. When an NFL player is playing, especially an offensive player, they call this the baby bump when you bet on them to score a touchdown. Well, Curtis Jones had a kid not too long ago, and so he had his baby bump, and he just absolutely bossed the game. It's great, for Trent and him to be, Scouser, born and bred, grew up in the academy, and then to be so good. Curtis Jones got opportunities, and Klopp obviously loved him, but he couldn't stay healthy. And it seems like he's like a very big part of Slot's, squad here. So I'm glad to see him getting a run, and I think he gets better and better. And he's one of the silkiest players I've seen on the ball. When you have him, McAllister, and Gravenberch in the midfield, just 3 like press resistant monsters. It's really good. He can't do as much defensively as Dominic Szoboszlai, but if you could kind of do everything else just as well, he might be able to beat Dominic out, and I think that ongoing competition will continue. So I wanted to mention that. Now, Liverpool stayed top, and right behind them is Manchester City. John Stones put it in his veins. The guy has scored 2
his clutch
game-winning goals, and without it, they'd be 4 points less than they are right now.
They'd be in the mud.
Fucking nuts, man. He just pops up. He scored a goal in the Champions League today, which we'll get to in a little bit as well, which was one of the nicest headers I've seen. The goalie couldn't believe it, but City were really bad in this game. And Wolves, who are 20th, I will repeat, 20th in the Premier League, they have now had a 2-1 loss to Manchester City. And you know who the other loss that they lost 2-1 to?
They lost 2-1
Keep putting you on
to
the spot.
Liverpool.
That is correct. 2 very, very tight games. And so they are really hard done by. I feel very bad for Gary O'Neill. I'm surprised he still has a job. 8 games played, 1 single point, negative 13 goal differential. But on the flip side, Pep's men struggled today, and I'm not really sure how to break this one down. I catch the second half of it, but they had all the guys on, and Phil Foden gets the assists, but I just don't think this team is that good or as good. They're good, but they're not as good as they've been in years past, and they keep doing this, and I just sound like a broken record, but I just think that they're going to start dropping points at one time or another this season, and I'm hoping that Liverpool can capitalize on that, as well as Chelsea and Arsenal and other fans that are trying to compete for the Premier League title.
Yeah, I mean, Stones is saving their bacon right now. And frankly, I really do get this feeling that since Rodri has gone down, it's just not the same.
De Bruyne too is kind
I
of
mean,
like
yeah, they're missing two of their three best players. I mean, the hole that Rodri leaves there, I just like it's hard for me to get past that, I think, because one, he's so good in possession. Like you could just feed him any time in the middle and he'll make the right pass. Um, and when you're missing De Bruyne too, you lack so much creativity. And that's why it's also been kind of, if you're a City fan, it's been disappointing to see Phil Foden starts the year because all of a sudden you're lacking even more creativity and you're hoping it all comes from your wingers. Um, I mean, Foden did score in the Champions League today, but he hasn't scored yet in the Prem yet. And I think we're still waiting on him to have an outbreak at some point. I know he was dealing with like sickness or whatever it was earlier this year, but he needs to get fully up to speed. I don't know. I just can't. It's really hard for me to get past them being the same team without Rodri. I just think that his absence just leaves a massive hole in their team.
No, I can't agree more. Speaking of a team that actually did drop points, that is the Gunners. The Gunners lost to the Cherries of Bournemouth. William Saliba with a red card that iced this game. Bukayo Saka gets hurt. Calafiori with a knee injury. Timber with an injury. The injuries are starting to pile up for this team here, and that's a big loss. And then you mix it in with their Shakhtar performance at home at the Emirates. This is a Shakhtar team that got the doors blown off of them by Atalanta.
Dog meat.
It was over at halftime, and you're telling me they won 1-0? I didn't even watch much of this game, but I did tune in for the last 15 minutes, and they were under the cosh the entire time. I mean, Shakhtar had 3 golden opportunities to tie this game up, and
Raya made a ridiculous save.
yeah, it's like that's less than ideal. They don't have the depth to Gabriel Jesus, as every City fan will tell you, he's not up to snuff. Raheem Sterling is terrible. I mean, Martinelli is basically a slightly better Antony at this point, in my opinion. I mean, that's really harsh, but I don't think he's very good. It was what I was getting at. So I'm worried for this Arsenal team, and they got a really tough game this weekend in Liverpool. And are they going to go 2 Premier League losses in a row?
They very well might. It's kind of similar, I think, to City in the fact that City's missing Rodri. They're missing Odegaard. And the way that he drives them offensively, I think, is so pivotal for them. And without him, it feels like they're playing just 3 CDMs.
4 center backs, 3 CDMs, and then Bukayo Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli.
Saka's literally their only hope.
And Saka's been carrying them, actually carrying them on his back this entire time since the Odegaard injury, and now he's out. Who are they going to look for inspiration from? Like Mikel Merino, Rice, or Partey aren't goal scorers. Trossard's been a spark off the bench. Havertz has been decent this year, and Martinelli just does not create chances. So I just don't know where your goals come from. You can keep clean sheets, but now you're missing Saliba, Timber, and Calafiori. So you got Ben White and Gabriel, and you're going to start Zinchenko on the left, who quite frankly is just really bad at this point. Yikes.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. And I think they have solid depth, but I mean, it's hard to envision this many injuries all at once, honestly. So
happened slow. Happened really actually won it all at once. Actually.
Yeah. I mean, Saka, obviously, like I mentioned, the whole Odegaard is, but if Saka's missing for the Liverpool game, then I just don't know where they're having any sort of inspiration from. But they are at home, so you never know. But good win for Bournemouth. They took advantage of the 10 men, and Now it leads into another big game for them where they play Villa this week.
Yeah, should be a fun game. I had a question in referring to Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm blanking here. Okay, when your coach Mikel Arteta comes out and goes, "Oh, we're gonna show up for that Sunday game. Believe that." I feel like that's like coach talk for like I'm fucking scared, man. I'm rattled. I mean,
He put on a
it's
face.
it's Tuesday in the Champions League. We just beat Shakhtar, and I'm already talking about how we're getting up for the Premier League on Sunday. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, he is rattled." I mean, maybe that's just me as a Liverpool fan. I feel like you got to agree there.
I mean, I think
right?
I think they'll show up, but like they're only going to have like 15 dudes who actually are able to show up. So,
Are they going to name a full squad?
I like legitimately don't know. They might have to dig deep into the academy to pull a couple dudes onto the bench.
Yeah, that Skelly kid's actually a pretty good player. If you know what I'm talking about, he's like this academy kid. He's been making appearances since everyone's injured, but he's actually solid. But anyways, I wanted to, we just been talking about the Premier League title race. Let's go to the relegation race here, Harry.
Mhm.
Wolves, Southampton, Palace, and Ipswich, all under 4 points here. We got a relegation race of the century here. Everton have gotten out of hell. They're at 8 points. Leicester outperforming at 9 points. Are we still thinking the same three that went up go down, or are we changing our tone here on Leicester City or any other team?
Firstly, just a brutal loss for Southampton this past week against Leicester. That one's gonna sting late in the year. Couldn't hold on for the draw. Literally last kick of the game, and Leicester puts it in, which in Leicester's case, like could be absolutely massive once we talk about the end of the season. But my thinking right now, I just don't think the Wolves have the defense to stay up, even though they held City to 2. Like we've seen too many times this year that they just don't have any sort of defense to really keep them in many games. Southampton suck. That's just a fact. Like I just can't get past that. They're just really, really bad. And
Russell
I don't see
Brand, not a good coach.
No.
Vincent Company 2.0 in terms of like just plays the same exact way and just gets battered week in, week out.
Yeah, I just don't see a world where they're staying up at all.
Nope.
I feel pretty certain they're going to go down. Dude, Palace, like it's hard for me to wrap my head around really what's going on at Palace. Is it the fact that were they literally just getting completely carried by Michael Olise last year? Is it as simple as that?
Well, he was the only one helping Eze.
Yeah.
For sure. Is it possible to fire Glasner, hire Roy Hodgson, and then fire him in January and rehire Glasner and get the coach bounce again? Because Glasner was having the boys buzzing last year. He gets an entire preseason. Done a good job at Frankfurt. I was kind of pumping his tires, as you like to say, in the offseason. Felt pretty good about, Daichi Kamada and, Saar coming in, maybe being able to replace. They signed in Ketia, who looked really good against Forest, to be honest. And Forest are just cracked right now. But he's going to get fired because they're on 3 points. They are 18th, and their roster is actually not bad at all. I mean, Oliver Glasner benched Mateta. He benched Adam Wharton. And I think benching Adam Wharton is a fireable offense. I mean, starting Jefferson Lerma and Will Hughes in the middle of the park
Scrappy Will Hughes.
That's
put some respect on his name.
That's like when Forrest throw on Yates. He starts Yates because the guy is just scrappy. I mean, he doesn't do a single thing well. He just fouls people and just breaks up play. That's his purpose. So
fan favorite,
and he's the captain, I guess. But Yeah, I mean his job's probably gone. I'm surprised Gary O'Neill, hasn't gotten the bite yet. I know McKenna's staying, and Russell Brand, I'm sure. I guess he'll be a good championship coach, so they probably will do the company approach and hang on to him. Not really sure, but I honestly think it will revert back to the meme. I think Wolves will be able to survive because they have a decent roster, just a terrible defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely think that it's going to be Southampton, Ipswich, Leicester City. Leicester City might be able to stay alive, and a team could really slump in like Palace or Wolves, but it's still a long season ahead. And I just think that if they get a new coach bounce or they start to click, maybe things will change.
I don't know. I'm kind of of the mind that Leicester's going to stay up right now.
Yeah,
Something about them.
I
I
can't
just
blame
like
you.
I mean, I think it'll go down to the end, but I kind of see them finishing 16th or 17th right now. Like I don't think they're in the cellar. Like they're not in the dungeon. Southampton's in the dungeon. They're not coming out. They're just stuck down there. But you're right.
Yeah, sorry, my screen froze, and I thought my computer was going to die out of nowhere.
You're fine. I mean, I was just literally just talking about how Southampton's in the basement. They're not going to come out.
Yeah. Real quick on that,
Mhm.
I just when I see a Leicester midfield of Harry Winks and Oliver Skip, I just get really scared,
They're not
Harrison.
winning titles here, Dan. They just got to stay up.
That's true. All right. Well, we're gonna get to Premier League in a second, or Champions League in a second. We're gonna preview this weekend, and then we're gonna get you some UCL action. We're gonna be back in just a second. Just bear with me. I'm gonna go grab my laptop charger so my shit doesn't die. All right, we are back. I've actually never used the pausing feature.
That was sick.
So
I
that
love
was
that from you.
actually that was pretty nails. Um, anyone who works at Best Buy, Costco, or anything, if you could get the boy a discount for a new computer, I mean this MacBook is. I got it in
It
2018.
is absolutely horrific.
It's bad, and all of my friends roast me and bust my balls. I literally only use this to stream when I need a third device or I'm recording a podcast. That is the sole reason. It's bad though. It's bad, but
That's horrible.
that's no longer here nor there, Harrison. Let's
Okay,
get to Champions League.
sure.
Um,
Where do you want to start, Dan?
I was actually going to ask you that.
Let's start
start
with the thriller at the Bernabeu.
the thriller at the Bernabeu. Wow. Okay, I like that. Tuesday, I have a Dortmund friend, and I texted him and I said, you know what? I mean, this is going to be a hate watch. And he was like, why would you say that? And I was like, no, I mean, not just because I hate Dortmund, but I really hate Madrid too. I think these two teams they underperform when they should be overperforming. Real Madrid own Liverpool perennially. I just don't like it. Dortmund, I always think they should be good, and then they're not. Like somehow they made it to the Champions League final, and I looked like an idiot last year, which is fine. But I just don't get it. And when I can't figure out a team, it kind of makes me upset. So I hate watch this game. And then Dortmund scored 2 goals, and I'm like, holy crap. The wheels might fall off here for Real Madrid. We've been calling this for a year now. Like, let's go on live television on the biggest league or like competition in the world other than the World Cup. And they are getting blown out at the Bernabeu. And then they proceed to score 5 goals in a row in the second half. Unanswered, which is that was the most Real Madrid game of all time. This was also the biggest Dortmund game of all time, conceding a 2-0 lead. They put 5 in the back. It never works. And then they just get the doors blown off of them. Vinicius starts to cook. The boys get ready. Big emotional game, though, for Real Madrid. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, give me a quick turnaround for them. But as Jamie Carragher said, they thought they bought the best player, but they already had him.
Vinny?
Dude, that guy is so fucking good.
Yes.
I
So
just
fast. But Rodriguez
dude,
saw it too.
I mean, he was running full field sprints in the 90th plus minute and scoring, just adding to his stat total for the day. I mean, I want to
You
say
know
it was
why?
Patrick. Why is that?
Balloon Dior in a
Yeah, but I
week.
feel like I already feel like that's done. I feel like he already won it.
Yeah,
He's my pick. Like,
I don't even know.
who even are the finalists?
I don't know. But I Jude.
I
him.
feel okay. Yeah. I feel
Rodri.
I mean, you can make the argument for Rodri for sure. Dude won everything this year.
I'm staying on my Rodri case, by the way. I'm not going to say.
Yeah, no. It'll be I think Vinny or Rodri.
Well,
Anywho,
yeah, sorry.
like Jude had a great year, but I'm not there yet. His hat trick goal, he ran the full field, took on 3 players, and then put in the side netting. And I was like, all right, dude, like this is getting ridiculous. But it was a really bad start. And you could see you could tell there was some tension in the Bernabeu. Like Eder Militao's face after the second goal, he literally looked like he had just seen a dead person. Like he couldn't believe what was going on. And then they just turned up the heat a little bit, and Rudiger scores to make it 2-1 beginning of the second half, and the whole game just turned on its head. Vinny scores literally, it felt like 30 seconds later.
2 goals in like 130 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, it was very, very close in succession, but Dortmund lost their way completely, and Madrid just took it over. And I feel like this is the first time we've actually seen a desperate Madrid like this squad. I mean, I think you think about La Liga and the games they've been down, and obviously we've talked about how they get off to really slow starts, but they're usually able to find a way to claw back for a win or a draw just based on talent alone, because obviously the teams that they're playing in La Liga typically are near, mid-table teams and obviously not as talented, and they don't feel as worried about needing to come back against them. Like Dortmund's a real side, and this is a team they played in the Champions League final last year. And we saw desperation, and it's something I think I've been waiting to see, just like them caring a little bit. And then he was firing up the crowd. Rudiger was fucking screaming, and I was like, holy shit, like this could turn the tide of their season. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say it because like Dortmund I think are so mediocre, but
that's a big statement ahead of El Clasico.
Yeah, I know. And I will be placing a wager on Barcelona, so I'm actually super worried. But I legitimately do think that this is a big wake-up call, and I get this feeling that maybe things will be a little more positive around Madrid going forward.
I want to talk about a debate that they actually had on the Golazo network during the stream, which is hilarious to me. Which I think the commentary and the little banter is actually like fairly elite, but I don't even know their names, but it's good. But
Nico Cantor.
Yeah, that guy is awesome. And I really like those kind of people who are doing those. And I think he does a great job. But
yeah, he's a chiller.
I mean, he's soccer's Scott Hansen for sure. But in terms of they see an Emi Martinez save, like, and that's why he's the best goalkeeper in the world. And then 10 minutes later, Courtois makes like 3 like absurd saves.
Yeah, that game could have been 4-0.
Like a heartbeat.
Julian Brandt almost hit the nastiest bangers I've seen in a while from like 30 yards out.
Yeah. I mean, you're preaching to the choir because, I mean, I've seen and witnessed Courtois stand on his head against Liverpool like 1,000 times, and it hurts. Who is the best goalkeeper in the world? Is it Emi? Is it Alisson? Is it Courtois? Am I missing any?
I don't know. I don't think that there's one necessarily that stands out above the others. I think shot stopping wise, it's hard to go against Courtois.
I agree.
Like he is long as fuck, experienced, has won. Pause. But I would say that like Alisson, I think is the best goalie in the Prem. And I would say that like I think Martinez just gets a lot of hype because he won the World Cup, and obviously he made that unbelievable save, and I think he's very good.
He's a clutch PK guy too.
He
That's
is.
why.
He's amazing at pens, but like I'm not there yet with the whole discussion of him being the best goalie in the world. Like when you still have Thibaut Courtois and Allison playing at a very high level, I can't get there yet.
Yeah, I actually have something really funny for you that I just remembered on the stream. I was watching the game, and direct quote for Aston in the Aston Villa game, the commentator goes, "They might surprise young boys. They might surprise Brest." And I was like, bro, you cannot put those two teams in a row while discussing this. Like,
Bro
come
knew what he was
on.
doing. He knew what
Come
he was
on. He
doing.
had to. He had to. I was like, dude, you're like giving me
That's obscene.
ammunition.
That's absolutely obscene.
I was like, I wonder if he even noticed after. Like, he tried to follow up with, and they're doing it to Villa now. Like, I don't know if he was like setting himself up or his like commentary guy was like, bro, like you got to say something.
Yeah, his producer just like taps him on the shoulder. All right, let's chill the fuck out.
I thought it was so funny, man. Let's see here. Other big results in the Champions League. But yeah, that game was nuts. The other crazy game, Barcelona, Bayern at the Camp Nou. Going into this game, and we talked about this, Barcelona 0-6 against Bayern in their last 6. 0-6. And huge look ahead spot against El Clasico this weekend. Bayern off a big win against Stuttgart, which we forgot to mention, but that was a big win, big second half for them. So they're confident. But at the end of the day, it is the players, but it's how you set the team up. And Hansi Flick, revenge game, it was always going to happen. He gets fired from Bayern Munich. Hansi versus company, give me Hansi every day of the week. And they start out with a 1-minute goal. Kane levels it up.
Putrid defending.
Putrid defending.
Upamecano, what are you doing, pal?
Even the commentary is starting to catch on to us and what our buddy Justin says, who's a Bayern fan. Upamecano and Min-Jae Kim together spells absolute disaster at times. I mean, it is bad. And in the big games, dude, they literally have polio. It's insane. And like it's crazy. And Bayern were dominating and looking for that second goal. They got an offside goal against Kane. You know, they had another one that was close, but then Barcelona shut the doors with a 45th minute goal right before half and then scored 2 in the second half. 0 Bayern adjustments in the second half, and they got a big win, 4-1. They were due. Now 1-6 in their last 7.
Yep.
Hang it in the Louvre.
It's better than 0-6.
It is.
I don't know what they're feeding Rafinha nowadays, but that guy,
he might be the best player on the team.
He might be.
He actually is the best player on the team. I take that back. I wanted to. I wanted to believe it.
Yeah, I can't get there.
He's in the most form.
Oh, he's unbelievably hot right now. Like the second goal he scored, like I don't even know how he got that shot off, but
with his weak foot.
Yeah, through the legs of the defender. Everything he's touching is turning to gold right now, and that's kind of how it's been for Barcelona this whole season. So, yeah, they were impressive. I'm not gonna lie, like after the Rafinha goal, the first one, I actually got a little nervous for them.
Yeah,
because there was like a 15-minute spell after Rafinha, broke the ice that Bayern were absolutely dominating them, and Kane gets a goal, then it's disallowed, then Kane scores again, and that one's good. And I was getting nervous about Hansi's high line because every single time I see a high line, I'm like, dude, just make your run across the back and you're in. Like I think that every time. I know it's harder than that, but I don't know. It was
cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, he was making a lot of runs in behind and creating, but I don't know. Barca weathered the storm and then got their goals, and Lua gets his goal against Bayern. I mean, It was
Legacy games all around.
It was a beautiful day in Barcelona. Beautiful night, I should say. But yeah, it was an impressive performance, and we'll see. I mean, again, some good momentum for both teams, them and Real Madrid, heading into this weekend, which should be awesome.
Absolutely. Another game I want to talk about here. PSG drawing PSV, which sounds the same. Let me say it again. PSG drawing PSV. And this is, especially after you give Luis Enrique a new contract, and I don't get how you tie this game at the Parc des Princes. This is a sickening game, and they've been added to the shit list. Congratulations. It's been updated. We've added PSG. We've added Atalanta as well, as they drew Celtic, which is another game. These two games are the same. You got a Scottish team and you got a Dutch team who are, Celtic just got blown out by Dortmund. And then you got PSV who literally just or tied to Sporting. And both Atalanta, but especially PSG, should be blowing these teams out of the water. And they don't. And I don't know what's going on with both of these teams right now. But that's also what makes the Champions League special. So I can't get up that upset about it.
Yeah, no. In regards to the PSG PSV game, PSG had an expected goals around 2.5.
A little sneaky snipe from Noah Lang. I mean, near post caught Donnarumma off guard.
David Donnarumma just was stunned by it. Like, he didn't even move. Yeah, that was against the grain, kind of like an Mbappe kind of finish, just cutting across and then going right back to the near post. But yeah, PSG just it kind of reminded me a lot of the game against Girona, where it took until the 90th minute or whatever for them to finally find a goal. And it kind of seemed like they were fighting uphill the whole game just to even score, even though they had the ball and the chances. They just couldn't find the back of the net. And we don't even need to get into the Atalanta Celtics game today because holy cow.
Both those teams just spurring chance after chance after chance after chance. Insider Daniel Brackett of Soccer is reporting that PSG is officially ass. Dembele couldn't score a goal if the ball hit him in his face on the goal line.
Negative finishing.
I do like Bradley Barcola. He had an off day finishing. And then it frustrates me the most because I don't like PSG because they're an oil club. But I will say that midfield does things to me. Zaire Emery, João Neves, and then you throw in Fabian or Vitinha.
Yeah.
That's an elite midfield.
Yeah.
You just I guess you do have injuries with Goncalo Ramos, but I feel like you got to start Marco Asensio and not Kenyon Lee up top. I don't know what you're doing there. Muani sucks, so I get why he didn't start. But Marco Asensio has been the best attacker this season, so I'm not really sure why he didn't start there. But PSG confirmed as.
It's kind of unfortunate because I thought Kolo Muani, I kind of thought he was the next big French striker.
He was really good at Frankfurt.
Yeah, he was good at Frankfurt. I mean, shit, in the World Cup, that guy was a problem off the bench.
Yeah.
I thought he was okay. I thought he was okay at the Euros. He scored a couple goals at the Euros. I just it's been a bad year for him. I'm sure he'll turn it around at some point.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's still young. He's still got plenty of promise. Yeah, PSG having some trouble, especially in the Champions League, putting the ball in the back of the net.
They don't beat good teams.
Yeah.
Or better than average teams, period. All right, weekend preview. Starting off with, let's go ahead and start off with El Clasico. Real Madrid at the Bernabeu versus Barcelona. Real Madrid off a big win. Both teams off big emotional victories. How are we feeling about this one?
I think it could go either way. I've liked Barca's season a ton more than Madrid, obviously. I did just say that I think this could turn around Madrid's season, but I'm also placing a bet on Barcelona. So kind of screwing my logic a little bit here, but I still lean Barcelona. I still think that right now they're more informed than Madrid, and I like their team a little more. It's gonna be a good game though. I'm gonna say 2-2. I kind of think that they'll draw this one. Yeah.
I'm checking the odds, folks. This might be your last weekend. If you're a big believer in Barcelona to get your future in, still at plus odds at plus 125. Real Madrid at minus 180.
Might flip this weekend.
With big games and big rivalries, especially at the Bernabeu, you throw the record out the window, you throw form out the window, you throw everything out the window, and it's just what happens in those 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. With that being said, give me Barcelona 3-2. Real Madrid, and I'll tell you why.
Give me Alabama.
Guess who is going to be going against Jesus Vasquez or Lucas Vasquez? Rafinha. And I watched Vasquez on that second goal just switch off completely and let Bino Gittins get that tap in. Rafinha is going to absolutely cook him. Real Madrid's defense has been leaky. Lewandowski, top goal scorer. Lamine Yamal, arguably one of the best players on the planet, if not the best player on the planet. Pedri back. Gavi's back.
My only real concern is that with Hansi's high line, like Mbappe is so unbelievable at making in behind runs. Like there's a couple runs that he made in the Dortmund game where he literally would run offside and then he would sneak back onto the line and then run like a diagonal curve and time it perfectly. And I get a little nervous that he could just be doing this all game. And he probably will be doing it all game.
He will. But I'll give you the good news. Jules Koundé is the right back. And I think he's an absolute, not only a good football player, but a good athlete. I'm just worried about Paul Kuparsi on this one.
A moment too big for him.
No, I don't think that, but I think he might show his age at some point. We'll see. I'm not sure. And then I think this is going to be goals galore. So I'm going to say 3-2 Barcelona.
Should be fun. Should be fun.
Or it could be a draw. Arsenal, Liverpool at the Emirates. We talked kind of in depth, so we'll go quick here. Arsenal just injured. Liverpool are hot. Are you going to give Liverpool the edge here?
Yeah, I'll take them 1-0.
Yeah, this is going to be really cagey. I'm going to go 1-0 as well. Inter versus Juventus.
Another gross one. Going to be another defensive game. And I still like Inter. I don't know what happened to Juventus against Stuttgart, but they just did not look like themselves. Or maybe it's more credit to Stuttgart because
they're like hot and cold, dude. I can't figure them out yet.
Yeah. Maybe I need to repump their tires so that they suck again. But I'll lean Inter here. I think they take care of business at home. I'll say 2-0.
Our buddy Max was at the Inter-Roma game this weekend, said it was insane. We might have him on in the next couple weeks to talk about that experience, as our other friend was at West Ham as well. Yeah, that's really it for the games. Not many.
What do you think about the Inter-Juventus game?
Oh, I think it's going to be very cagey. I think that Inter will. I think it's going to be in 1-1. Actually, 1-1. I don't like how Inter's playing right now, but I don't like how Juve is playing right now. So I'm going to give a draw here, and I think each one get a goal. Let's go ahead and go with our best bets for this weekend. I'll start here. On Friday, I got Forest Pick'em against Leicester and Forest Leicester under 2.5. Forest are just so tight at the back right now. Their unders are just printing right now, so I'm going to ride the train even though they're away from home. Torino Como, another Friday game, over 2.5 plus odds. Both of these teams haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 matches. I just think this game, will fly. You could also take both teams to score if you want to be safer here. Brentford money line against Ipswich. Just a believer in Brentford at this moment. Liverpool money line and Liverpool Arsenal under 2.5. I think this is going to be maybe a 1-goal game. Barcelona plus a half point. Give me this number every single day and twice on Sundays with how they're playing right now. Barcelona Madrid over 3. You could take 3.5 if you want to get into plus odds territory. I'm just going to parlay this with Napoli moneyline, who play Lecce. Napoli are not going to lose to Lecce. They're an absolute wagon. This will probably buy this down to around even odds, so I'm going to take that. Augsburg and Borussia Dortmund over 3. That game's going to fly. And then Bayern and City both by -1.5 parlayed together. Bayern are going to absolutely smoke Bochum off a loss. City are absolutely going to wreck Southampton. They're both -2.5. You could probably take them both straight with those spreads. I'm just being safe here for my record. Harrison. Also, I went 3, 2, and 3 with 3 disgusting pushes last week. Harrison, what'd you do?
Yeah, I was 4, 3, and 2 last week. Not terrible in the green. And this week, I'm taking City -2.5 against Southampton. I just don't see how. I don't see how they don't at least win this game 3-0. Bournemouth plus a half against Villa. Hate it.
Gritty.
Absolutely hate it. Again, this is kind of me just playing the books. Like, Villa is -110 against Bournemouth at home.
Trappy.
So trappy. So I'm not going to fall into it. Give me Bournemouth plus the half. Also like how they've been playing recently. Brentford moneyline, I'm with you. I'm on the train, even though they kind of look sluggish against United.
I think United just looked good.
I agree. I think United did play well in that game. I'm still a believer in Brentford, so I'll take the money line at a good number. And I'm with you on Barcelona plus a half. It's just, I think that they've been the better team, so I'm going to take them at plus a half and just see what happens. I'm also with you on Augsburg, Dortmund over 3. Dortmund just printing overs right now. Stuttgart Kiel over 3.5. Kiel remains on the love list, and this number's heavily juiced to over 3.5. Probably will move to 4. So go ahead and get the over 3.5 in. Chelsea money line against Newcastle. Feel like it's a good bounce back spot at home.
Add me. I'm adding Chelsea.
Thank you.
I'm adding Chelsea. I'm in your foxhole.
Yeah, it was like -130. I can't get there with Newcastle.
Nope.
Not that I was ever going to actually bet on Newcastle because, of course, Chelsea is my squad, but
they can't score.
Yeah, they have problems. And I'm taking Liverpool pick'em at plus money. Frankly,
sorry, I meant Liverpool pick'em in mine as well.
Yeah, that's fine. It's plus money. There's just so many injury concerns with Arsenal. I would never feel comfortable backing them. So I'll ride it with the league leaders.
This is not a gamble, me saying this. This is just Liverpool will not lose this game. They will not lose this game. They might draw this game, but they will not lose this game. I'm telling you right now, that's a Daniel Brackett guarantee.
Trust me, listeners, he's putting his money where his mouth is.
That is a Daniel Brackett guarantee. I'm not gambling advice. I'm just saying we will not be losing this game. To recap our bets. Forest Pick'em, Forest Leicester under 2.5, Torino Como over 2.5, Brentford moneyline, Liverpool Pick'em at plus money, give me. Liverpool Arsenal under 2.5, Barca plus a half on the road to Bernabeu, Barca Madrid over 3, parlayed with Napoli moneyline, Augsburg Dortmund over 3, Bayern and City parlayed to win by both 1.5, and Chelsea moneyline. Harry?
City -2.5, Bournemouth plus a half. Brentford money line, Barcelona plus a half, Augsburg Dortmund over 3, Stuttgart Holstein Kiel over 3.5, Chelsea money line, and Liverpool pick'em.
Let's go. We will see you guys next week and enjoy the slate this weekend.